Welcome to another episode of Blended Views Unfiltered. This is DeAndre.
Hey, Booze, it's me.
And Kenesha.
Listen, we love to talk life, love, and business. And today we are talking business. Well, we probably going to talk all of it, actually. We'll talk all of it. You might as well. But we got a special guest on the show today. We got Mr. Tone Robinson, VTS Consultants, a financial guru, real estate investor. We got you're a jack of all trades.
I like to think I'm a master of a few.
Yeah.
A master of a few. I appreciate you guys for having me on the show. Thank you.
Absolutely. We appreciate you being on here, man. So gracing our audience, Blended Views Unfiltered. And I guess we can start off with just diving right into investing. Sure. How did you get into investing? Give us a little bit of a background about you.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you for opening the platform.
Yeah, absolutely.
I really got started in investing right out of college. I needed to find a way to pay back Sally Mae. I think we all can.
I can't stand Sally.
Sally ain't getting
Sally a
nothing from
bad
me.
bee, ain't she?
That heifer. If I catch her and Eve.
I ain't looking for her.
If I catch her.
I ain't looking for her either, but she's looking for me at some
She can
point.
keep looking for me. I forgave my stuff myself.
when I get to heaven.
I tell her that all the time.
I love it.
Sally can look all she wants.
So yeah, man. So I really just really needing to find a way, the avenue to pay back Sally Mae. One of my professors that I took a lot of finance classes with was always, really talking about his real estate ventures and what he had going on with his rental property. And what I realized is he really was using his rental income to supplement his salary as a professor. And so for me, as I kind of, got, a little older and start getting to my junior and senior year, I'm like, man, I had a job at the bank, but that wasn't going to be enough to pay back Sally Mae on top of all my other expenses.
Not at all.
And so, I really just needed to find an avenue that allowed me to get a house and also get some rental income from it as well. And so, I started house hacking before I knew what house hacking was. And so in 98, the week I graduated, I bought my first 3-family. So it was a 3-family property. That was my first foray into investing.
So so for those who don't know what house hacking is.
Right. What's the glossary? is that different? The military, than investing?
So I'm thank you for I don't want to use too much jargon.
No.
So I apologize.
I'm asked.
Really, house hacking is a term that has become kind of popular, but essentially it gives you an opportunity to live for free. You live in one unit and rent out the other units in the space. So it's a hack because you know what I mean? You get
They paying your bills.
Bingo.
Got it. Yeah, I seen something like that.
That's house hacking. House hacking 101. Find you a multifamily property that one you can live in and rent out the other spaces.
Nice.
Absolutely.
So you got your first one in 98?
Yes.
First one in 98. Where are you at now?
Oh, man, I don't know.
Doesn't it go, how many doors do you own? Isn't
Doors.
that
Yeah. It is doors. And I never really talk about the number of doors or properties that I have. And the reason being primarily is it doesn't help anybody else. It can be seen as a flex. We in Cleveland, bro. We in Northeast Ohio, so we don't talk about the numbers too much. But we own or manage quite a few, probably close to 100 units.
Nice.
Let me live in one.
How much you can afford?
We'll talk later.
Okay.
Right.
I'm gonna keep it good. I'm gonna keep myself together.
Right. I second her motion.
So what are some other things that you got going on besides like real estate? Because I know you do the consulting.
Yes, we do. So really, I've been a full-time entrepreneur for about 13 years now, in one capacity or another with real estate and management. And so really about 5 years ago, I started consulting and really just branding myself differently from the company.
Yeah.
Everybody always want to pick your brain.
Right.
So we don't have pick your brain sessions no more.
I know that's right.
You got to pay for it. So, but essentially we started consulting about 5 years ago. I over there in the corner, Mike. I became an author as well, so I published my first book.
Nice.
And so now I'm a 2-time author. And so under the consulting umbrella, we just kind of find different avenues, different ways to make that cash register ring at the end of the day.
Make it ring right now. Drop the book.
I got it. I got something for you guys. Actually.
Nice.
So
thank you.
I got a book for each of you.
On
guys.
Amazon.
Feel like
The book is on Amazon. It's called The Offensive Playbook.
You like Oprah,
9
you can
Rules for
put-
Guaranteed Real Estate Success.
Nice.
So I got a copy of the book. So I brought up some gifts for you guys for having me on the show. So I appreciate that. And yeah, so man, really this is that. And then as far as what I'm really excited about right now is what I'm promoting on the sweatshirt is our Real Lit Investors Bus Tour. So I have a signature event that we do twice a year, and the next one is coming up April 22nd.
Nice. Now explain to us what this is, the Real Lit Bus Tour.
Yeah, man. So Real Lit is a slogan. It really stands for real estate literacy. Okay? And so it's Real Lit.
Yeah.
And it's just using a popular term that people use. But essentially, it's a bus tour that I put together to bring investors from all over the country into Cleveland. And we tour some of the prime investment neighborhoods all around the city of Cleveland. And so we look on the east side and the west side and give people a real idea of what it takes to get started in real estate investing. So whether it's buy and hold to try and accumulate some wealth, whether you want to fix and flip to try and get your money together, right? Or if you just want to wholesale and try and do transactional deals, that is also available. Or you want to do short-term Airbnb. So all of those things, we kind of teach those strategies on the bus.
That's super dope.
So
we need to get on the bus.
What'd you say?
We need to get on the bus.
We do need to get on the bus.
Absolutely. I'll have a special offer for you guys to get on the bus. Definitely.
What were you about to ask?
So little birdie, aka Drake's cell phone, told me that you do stuff with inner city kids and youth. What do you do with the kids?
I do. So my overall platform for my consulting company is financial literacy. And so I have a program at Shaw High School. It's a curriculum for about 4 weeks. And we work with some of the talented kids, some of the kids that are on the right trajectory. They got their minds in the right place, so to speak. Just some inner city kids that, don't have a lot of resources. And so we bring some of that game, so to speak, back to the kids in the hood because they're really asking for it. They're hungry for it.
Yeah.
I feel like that should be like a class, like a financial
literacy
class.
So there's a movement across the country in several states right now. I think Florida was the first one to make a financial education a mandatory credit before you graduate high school. I don't know exactly what it covers. If it's mandated, it's going to be kind of watered down to some degree. Yeah. So what I really do is talk to the kids about age-appropriate things. So if you 17, 18, some of those kids are working. Some of them got jobs. Some of them got cars already. So we just really talk about how you spend your money wisely and how some of the things that you kind of separate your needs from your wants and just basic budgeting. So we kind of make it age-appropriate for the kids, but all of them want to be business owners to some degree. So we kind of touch on, the proper way to set your business up. So it's an introductory class because they're high school students, but it kind of gets their feet wet into the real world, so to speak, which they're not getting much of in school.
Yeah. So I got a 17-year-old.
Okay.
One of the things that she wants to get into after she graduates high school is nursing and real estate.
Beautiful.
Right. So
that's amazing.
Her plan was to try to get a unit fresh out of high school, like a fourplex, duplex, something like that. Right. So what advice would you be giving someone like her, like fresh out? Because I'm a firm believer that you're never too young.
I agree. So my advice is for dad. Okay. My advice is for dad. She's 17. Do you have any credit cards in your name?
Yep.
She should be an authorized user on one of those credit cards. So what happens is it jump starts her credit profile before she's 18. Okay, so one of the things you can do, say for example, you have a credit card, it doesn't really matter what the limit is, but something you've had for a couple of years that you have a really low balance on or don't use a whole lot, make her an authorized user on that account. So what happens then, it now reports to her credit profile and she gets to take credit for all of that history that you have, right? So now that's one thing. 2, get her a UGMA, or it's called a custodial bank account.
Okay.
So it's a bank account it's in your name, but it's for her.
We already got one of those.
Okay, good. So that establishes a banking presence for her that now once she becomes 18, that becomes hers. Okay. Also, a LLC. You can start the LLC for her and make her the what is it called? The primary member or the sole member?
Yeah, sole proprietor.
Yeah, so and there's a number of ways you can do that.
Okay.
But that jump starts her profile before 18, so that once she's 18, she can go get a prepaid credit card to start her own process.
Right.
And you can, PNC is a local bank here, so they've got a great prepaid credit card. You only need a minimum of $300.
And that's something you could do for somebody that's like 8 too, right?
No. So
No.
So the custodial bank account, yes,
Yeah,
you
he
can
got
do
one
that
of
at any
those.
age,
Right, yeah, he
right.
got one of those.
So I have those for my little ones too, right? So those are good to have, especially for birthdays. Make them put that birthday money into the bank account. They don't get to spend all of it, right? So you make sure you give them some habits. You're really trying to teach habits at an early age,
Right.
So all of those things or get her in position to where once she's probably 18 and 6 months, she'll probably have a 700 credit score.
Fire.
Oh, so I gotta wait.
Yeah, you gotta wait. You gotta wait.
Womp
big dog.
womp. Listen, he was gonna have some stuff because I knew about the authorized user, but I
Yes.
never called just yet.
16 is the minimum age. So
16.
you gotta be usually about 16.
16. Yeah, because one of my friends told me that, and at first when she told me, I was just like, no, your mama got over on you. She said her mom put her name on the cable bill.
That's different.
Yeah,
And
that's a
why
little
I
different.
I was like,
That's a little
she's
different.
like, yeah, so when I got to high school, I had an 18, I had a 720 credit score. And I was like, from a cable bill?
No.
I was like, no.
Yeah,
I
mom
was like, I
did.
don't think that was right.
Mom did some other things she probably
Yeah.
wasn't aware of,
Right.
And putting things into her name or making her an authorized user on some accounts that set her up in position. She probably told her about the cable bill, but she probably did something else behind the scenes too. I mean, these are things that we call life hacks, so to speak, or some financial jewels that we really don't get access to on a regular basis. So this is the reason that I have the platform that I do working with the young people.
Nice. So is this something like, especially for you getting back into it in '98? Do you think then and now, is it hard as an African American to get in
To what?
real estate, especially the way that you're in the real estate? Is it hard?
It's a great question. So hard is relative. Hard is relative. Going through life with 500 credit is hard.
Yeah.
Show is. Show is.
Right? So if we're going to have some real conversations unfiltered, right?
400 is even worse.
Choose your hard.
Yeah,
Choose
you're
your
right.
hard.
Yeah.
Right? So one of the things I talk about quite often when I'm working with different people is just doing the basics.
Yeah.
Right? For when we want to buy homes, the first thing we think of is a program. What program can I go sign up with?
Yeah.
Where is NACA? Where is some of these other agencies? Where can I get some free money? It's real basic. Right?
Yeah.
You want to buy a house? Go save some money.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Get your credit together. And that's it. That's really it.
Yeah.
It's not hard, bro.
That's right.
Choose your hard. So, for example, and to put it in real life terms, so the FHA program is what most people use as their first opportunity to buy a home as far as financing. FHA only requires a 3.5% down payment.
Right.
So if you're in Youngstown, maybe you find a house for $60,000. 3% of that is less than $2,000. Right? We get most of that. Most of us get more than that back in our taxes, right? So this is that season where a lot of wealth is drained out of our communities and out of our bank accounts because we're going to buy BS. We're going to buy bullshit. Right? So if we kind of structure that time and our money and our energy into something that's going to buy some assets for us, that's going to produce some real money down the line, that will be the first thing. So in Cleveland, the number's a little higher. It's $100,000. Yeah. But still, it's only $3,500. So it's not much. So as a first-time home buyer, my number I typically tell people is around $3,000 to $4,000. That's all you need.
I have a so my question is always like, I have little money, right?
Right?
Right now I got little money.
Don't shortchange yourself now.
It's little though.
Humble beginnings. We all come from humble beginnings, though.
John, listen, it's much bigger than it was before.
There we go.
You know
See?
what I'm saying?
There we
So
go. Don't
I'm at the
shortchange
beginning
it.
part of my platform. Okay.
Okay.
So my biggest question is that I have several members of my church. They are financial advisors, right?
Great.
So what's some financial advisor companies that they have?
Charles Schwab.
Yeah,
Merrill Lynch.
So when you have little money, are you not allowed to go to these places because they have a capital? Like, how are we supposed to, I understand that you have the financial
That is
literacy.
a phenomenal
How are we
question.
supposed to actually know well, what stock should we put things in, and have someone actually manage our money, because I'm a very disciplined person when it comes to discipline.
Okay. So
Did you catch that?
I catch what you dropping. Okay. I'm catching what you dropping.
So
right?
if you be like, so if someone says no, I'm like, okay, got it. But sometimes when it comes to myself, if there's a pair of Jordans or something like that, then I'll make that decision and say, okay, I want to do this. But I really want someone in charge of my money to say no.
Okay.
Or
understood.
yes.
So there's a phenomenal question, and you asked a couple of questions within that one question, right?
Right.
So let me attack it from a couple of different angles. So first, investing is really the surplus of what you have in terms of managing your money, right? But you can't invest. It would be irresponsible to invest without education.
Correct.
Right? So when you talk about managing your money and having others manage your money for you, that's because you're intellectually lazy. Right?
Bet.
So here's an example. If I asked you what net asset value meant, would you know what that meant?
Net asset value.
Yes.
Well, I know net typically means after your taxes already came out.
Understood.
That's what you get.
Relative to investing, no. It's that. So
Womp womp, tell me.
price earnings ratio. Does any of those terms
Yes,
make
those
sense?
make sense.
Okay, so when you're looking at investing, let's say in Amazon, right? You want to compare Amazon to their competitors. How do they perform relative to the market or relative to their segment or their industry? And so there's all different types of metrics you can use, but essentially you want to know some basics, right? Some of the basics start with a price to earnings ratio. What is the price of the stock? Do they pay dividends? Things of that nature. So when you're talking about going to whether it's stock trade, the free stuff or the cheap stuff, or whether you talk about going to a more professionally managed service, you still have to have some basics, right? The best consumer is an educated consumer. And so it takes you to do some legwork to at least understand some basics. Here's why. You're going to talk to somebody who knows more than you, right?
Yeah, we don't want no Selena incidents.
So it's up to you to bring yourself up to that level, because that's what you're going to put your money into. Right. So that's first. The first thing I would say is just education. So whether it's stocks, real estate, crypto, it really doesn't matter. It's about the education. Everything is risky based on the information you have, right? And so first I would start with the education piece. Okay. Second, you don't need a lot of money to open up those professionally managed accounts. So typically, if you don't have at least $1,000, they will allow you to put at least $500 into a mutual fund, and then you have to do what's called dollar of cost averaging, meaning you have to make a regular withdrawal once a month or twice a month into the account. So most of those accounts like Merrill Lynch or Schwab, you can put a minimum of $500 in to open up the account. And then $50 a month or $50 every pay period until you build up to get the amount that you need. But usually it's a mutual fund and it's a $500 minimum.
Pretty cool.
Did I answer your question?
Yeah, that answered my
question. Did I leave out any part?
No, it lets me know that I can go.
Yes.
I could go with little money.
Right.
But,
absolutely.
But definitely have to have the education, because you hear so many, people who go through and they get big money and then they trust 12,000 people with their money, and then they get $1 in their bank account.
So, again, part of that is education, right? So until you have a large sum, most professional money managers are not going to manage your money for you. They'll essentially say, hey, you're best probably suited in an IRA, which allows you to buy stocks in whoever you want. Right? So a self-directed IRA, for example, will allow you to put your money in, and then you can make different transactions based on what you want to do. If you want to, so my, and this is great for kids too, for your daughter, and really, all minors. Everybody liked the Jordans and LeBrons, right? How many people is buying Nike stock? Right? Mm-hmm. That Nike stock is going to last longer than them Jordans and LeBrons.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? So let's have real conversations, right? So if you want to have some real conversations, this is the way we change the trajectory of our kids' financial futures, is having real conversations. Them Jordans and LeBrons going to cost you at least $200. I don't know what Nike stock is trading at right now, but you can probably get a whole certificate for $200.
Yeah, it's about $200.
Yeah, so just as an example.
That switches a kid's mind from consumer to ownership.
Consumer, that's correct. 100% accurate. 100%.
I like it. I like it.
So we like to talk about the highlights of what we do, right, as a living, right? Everybody knows that social media is a highlight reel. All right?
Sure.
So the behind the scenes is what a lot of people don't discuss and talk about, right?
Sure.
So obviously you are where you are now because of hard work, dedication, but you had to have come across a bunch of speed bumps,
every day.
roadblocks,
Every day, bro. Every
brick
day.
walls
Every
that you
day.
had to knock down.
This morning with those guys.
So like, tell us about one or two struggles, like your biggest struggle, most memorable struggle that you've had as an entrepreneur and in this real estate game that you've overcome that got you where you are now.
People, dealing with people. It's a people business, right? And so you're always, as long as you're dealing with people, you're going to have people issues.
Yeah.
And so just being able to manage and massage all of those issues, because everybody come with their own set of stuff.
Yeah.
Right? So whether it's somebody that works with me, like my guys here today, whether it's a tenant, whether it's an investor who I'm managing an asset for him or her, they all want something.
Yeah.
Right? So you have to be able to solve multiple problems at one time. And so I just really lean on my experience to be able to do that. But as far as, highlights and the lowlights, man, pick one. Pick one. So typically, as somebody who manages real estate, you're dealing with tenants all the time. And really, tenants that either don't pay or have excuses why they can't pay or leave their stuff once they move out. That's very, very common, almost every property. So that's one thing that we commonly deal with in the business. And it's something most people don't talk about, but it's very, very real. You want to invest in real estate, you're going to have to deal with some mess.
They be tearing up your properties?
Not too much, not necessarily, but if they move out, for example, whether you force them out or they move out, people always leave shit behind. Clothes they don't want, furniture they don't want. Oh, I don't want that, leave it.
Oh, that stuff
They
underneath.
raggedy asses.
Hey,
That's trifling.
I know that stuff underneath the sink. Don't nobody take the stuff underneath the sink.
Now that's good because that's cleaning products. So we
Right.
can use that to clean the house up,
That's
right?
right.
So that's okay.
You be like, gold mine.
So
Yes.
we try and find little wins along the way of
Right.
the stuff that they leave behind. So that's the
Right.
little wins is the kitchen sink. You're right. Nobody ever takes the kitchen
Nobody
sink.
ever take the stuff underneath the kitchen
But
sink.
people leave furniture almost every property. Almost
That's
everyone.
too rough. What
Very
about
few people
food?
clean out and take their stuff.
You said, what about food?
So
Yeah,
if
they
you
don't want
and so
that.
that's what that becomes your hidden cost.
Yeah.
Right? That's your hidden cost. Everybody's going to look at how much it's going to cost to do the lights, how much it's going to cost to do the plumbing and the electrical and all of that, right? You need a new furnace. We can kind of see those things.
Right.
But what you can't see, right, is the mess they leave behind because you don't know. Or the remnants of that with the, if you got to exterminate, things like that behind
Oh
it.
no, that's
So, it's not always, cash flows
Yeah.
and everything's going well.
Right.
You have to deal with some headaches too.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I would say over my 20-some years of being in real estate, it's worth it 10 times out of 10.
Nice. That's super dope.
what's your investment strategy that you use?
That's a great question. Very few people ask that question.
Yes.
Blended views get to the heart of the situation. They get to the heart of the situation. I love it. So my personal preference is fix and flip.
Fix and flip.
Fix and flip. At the same time, I have a family. I have kids. Right. And so I have to have something that I hold and buy and hold and maintain as well. Mm-hmm. So I do have some properties that I keep myself or that I own as well. Right. But my personal, what I like to do, I like to fix and flip.
Fix and flip.
Absolutely.
How long does it typically take you? You said you're in Cleveland. They have a lot of Crayola houses out there.
Crayola?
Yep.
What's that mean?
They all look the same, but they just a different color.
Oh.
Yeah. There's a lot of little neighborhoods like that. I go down there, I'll be like,
Fair enough.
left
Fair
turn,
enough.
another left turn.
Fair
another
enough.
left turn. All right. So when you're, so just like your typical single family house, how long does it typically take you to get
Fix
the
and flip it?
house, fix it up, sell it? What's that span? Because I've heard a lot of people, I think I did a class with Merrill Lynch.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what it? And he teaches 6 months.
Let me stop you. Well, the book would teach you 6 months.
Yeah, that's
Merrill
not,
Lynch is stock advisors.
They are.
You go to stock advisors. You get stock advice from stock advisors.
I think they were Merrill Lynch. I took a whole
Well, I understand that. I'm saying
class.
Merrill Lynch.
Right.
Not that his information was less valuable.
Right.
But they concentrate on stocks.
Okay.
So if you want advice on real estate, you need to talk to a real estate investor or a realtor.
Right.
So I would tell you 3 to 6 months is about right, though.
3 to 6 months.
Yes. If you have experience.
So there's a learning curve.
There's a huge learning curve.
Oh, man.
Here's the kicker. Everybody in that process has their hand out before you. The realtor,
Right.
the contractor,
Right.
the appraiser,
Right.
title company,
Right.
not surveyor, but home inspector,
Home inspectors.
right? All of those people have their hand out and are going to get paid before you do. So you have to manage that process.
30 people.
Okay, it's just how it's just how it goes, right?
Got it.
So you're not able to realize those profits until you manage those steps along the way first.
So kind of like.
So here's an example in my book.
Right.
In my book,
Can't wait to read it.
we plug in the book. Dave, can you bring me one of those? So while we plug in the book, right, the first third of the book talks about credit.
Okay.
The rest of the book helps you, the 9 rules of guaranteed real estate success. One of those rules is building your team. So if you're going to be an investor or you think you want to be an investor, you need to start vetting your contractors, your plumbers, your handyman, right? Your cousin Ray, who do this, is cool, right? But unless you writing Ray a check, Ray gonna put you on the back burner.
Definitely Ray will.
So my point is, you need a real plumber, a real handyman, a real electrician that you're going to pay your money to because you have an expectation from him.
Right.
Right. So that, again, that's the managing the process. Right. So we talk about all that on the bus tour.
Okay.
What's one of your biggest sacrifices that you've had to make?
My time. Easy. My time. The first, thank you. So the first, as an entrepreneur, right? So my before I started as an entrepreneur, I spent 15 years in banking. And so as a branch manager or, somebody running a mortgage division, you're working 60 hours a week. And I thought, man, this is a lot of time, that you're giving to the bank to be able to do the job. I pray for 60-hour work weeks now. Right? So the first 4 to 5 years, there was no vacations. 14-hour days. My guys can tell you, 14, 16-hour days every day.
Wow. That's crazy.
Right? So we all like to have a good time, right? And you look forward to your time off, but it's a different kind of grind when you're an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Ain't no paycheck. Right? So you kill what you eat.
Every day the rent due.
Every day the rent is due. And so you got to go get it. So your time is the biggest sacrifice. Now I've gotten to a point where I can manage that. I've got an assistant that works for me and things like that. So, and then sometimes I just don't answer the phone too. Right? So, but yeah, your time is the biggest factor. And you really have to change your mindset around the time. I prefer to spend a little extra time in a conversation and be late for my next appointment. Because that time, that relationship makes a big difference. Mm-hmm. The time that I can spend with you, understanding, explaining things, the next person I'll be 5 minutes late, 10 minutes late. It's cool, right? It's not always cool, but again, it's the time, and I prefer to give my time to who I'm with right now.
So how do you make that work with having kids? And you said you got some little ones?
I do. It's a process. It's a working process, right? Nothing's perfect. So I'm present for sure, but nothing's perfect.
Yeah, a lot of people get it misconstrued with the, like you said, 14-hour days, right?
Yeah, man.
So is it if the less time you spend into your business, then obviously the more present you'll be, but them funds
It's
will
a
be
give
missing
and
a little
take.
bit.
It's a give and take.
So
right?
that balance.
It's
it
a harmony.
I was about to say that balance. People say balance, but we like to say
There's
rhythm.
no such thing as balance.
Yeah, it's
it's
rhythm.
a harmony. It's
Yeah.
a rhythm or harmony,
Yeah.
absolutely. because it depends on your partner, or if you have a partner.
Yeah.
A, B, if you do have a partner, how does that partner rock with you?
Yeah.
Right? Are they understanding that you are putting this kind of time in? What does the money look like in return? Because that's ultimately what our partners want, right?
Yep.
How does that money come back in return? So I always like to say, when I leave the house, it's my responsibility to bring value back to the house.
Yeah, that's really
I like
good.
that.
Yeah, that's good money. Can you explain? Because you touched on it a little bit. Explain the importance of building relationships.
Oh shit, man! Listen, that's first and foremost, right? So I'll give you a great example. So I have a relationship with one of my contractors that works with me. He's a plumber. Shout out to Jose. I know he's not listening, but Jose is an older brother. He worked in the union for 20-some years, so he's a union pipe fitter. He retired from that, and now he does side work, right? Most times you call a plumber to your house, if you ain't there, you gonna miss him.
Correct.
Right? And you be lucky if he come back the next day.
Correct.
Jose will wait for me. That's relationships.
Yeah.
Right? Because obviously we've done business together.
Right.
Right? And I call him frequently. Right? So there are some calls you're gonna take a little more often.
Right.
Fair enough, right? But that's a relationship. Right. He knows that I'm not being malicious with his time, but I may be in Youngstown when he's in Cleveland, for example, right? So it's a matter of managing it, but the relationships is primary in this business. If you don't have relationships with your contractors, every time somebody knock on your door, you're gonna get the market price, right? So I'm trying to get better than market pricing.
Yeah.
How do I do that? Relationships.
Yeah.
Right. So relationships in this business is everything. My last deal, I tell you about a deal I'm working on right now that I'll be closing in the next couple of weeks. I went to a networking event after work. It was a couple business owners from Cleveland. They had put together a networking function, a lot of business owners. There was probably 30 of us in the room. And somebody that I knew from social media but didn't really know.
Yeah.
Introduced ourselves as a part of the networking event. And she was like, "Whoa, I just got my first property and blah, blah, blah." Oh, really? Shout out to Miss Keisha.
Hey, Miss Keisha.
Miss Keisha, we looking for you. We closing. We looking to close. So she was like, "Hey, I got my first property and I got it from the tax sale and I'm looking to do something with it, but I don't know." What are you looking to do? She's like, "Well, I'm looking to fix it up and rent it out, but if I can sell it right now and make X amount of dollars over what I paid for it, I'll be happy." Let me come see you right now. Right now. I saw it within 2-3 days. We inked the deal within another 2 or 3 days.
That's nice.
Relationships.
Right.
Networking. Yeah. If I chose to sit at home that night, right, I missed out on the opportunity to make some money. So I talk to my friends quite a bit. It's the opportunities you don't take that cost you money, most. Right? It's the opportunities you don't take. So go to those networking events, right? When you don't want to, put your lipstick on, get your lip gloss together, right? Get yourself together. Make sure you go, because those are the relationships that you build that could be your next business partner. That could be your next deal. That could be your next, what have you. So in this business, it's all about relationships, 100%.
So you talk about opportunity, you talk about cost. Opportunity cost.
Yes,
right?
I love it.
Okay, so, and, I have a friend who owns property, right? And so within that property, they've owned it for over 20 years.
That's dope.
Okay? No, it's not dope.
Okay.
It's not.
Tell me the scenario.
Okay, the reason why it's not dope is because it sat there. It's been sitting there for the last 20 years.
Ooh.
Not making money.
Okay.
So, and I believe it's a duplex.
Okay. In Youngstown?
So, yes.
You know this person?
Yes.
Okay, talk to me. I'm listening.
You ready? You welcome. You welcome when I finish. Okay, so
my guys over there see my wheels turning. They already
listen. It's a great house.
Okay.
It's brick, duplex.
South side of Youngstown?
Correct.
Okay.
The South Side is wild.
So
South Side of Youngstown.
The Wild Wild West, right?
Listen.
Okay, talk to me.
But, you know, I had a conversation with this person and I said, listen, you have lost out on so much money.
Sure.
But the whole goal of it was to fixing up yourself. So this is going to be like a 2-part question.
Okay.
Do you feel like it's important for you as a real estate investor, someone who's going to rent, buy, fix, or flip, to know what's actually going to be happening inside of your house? So is it important for me to know what certain aspects of plumbing? Is it important for me to know a certain aspect of how the electricity is supposed to be run? Is it important for me to know these things so that, you know, so first of all, you're not getting scammed.
Sure.
Second part is that, and I feel like this is a total farce, you don't save money by doing it yourself. That's me. I feel like it's a farce because
Good point.
You know,
Ooh, this is a great one. This is a good one. You coming with some gems tonight. You coming with some jewels tonight. So let me stop right there.
Got
So
it.
my
You got it.
brain don't
It was
only can process so much.
Got you.
So those 2 questions. The first one was a phenomenal question, and so I'm going to go back to something I mentioned earlier. The educated consumer is the best consumer.
Right.
Right. So although you may not be technically savvy when it comes to real estate or homes or the mechanics of a home, Google it. YouTube University, right, is your best friend. So it's not going to help you identify what you're looking at, but it'll help you ask the right questions. Okay. And then as you do it more and more often, after you have more and more practice, then you'll be able to say, oh, okay, you know what? Don't know how to fix it, but I know that's not right. Right. And so that's the reason we have the bus tour, right? Is to bring all of that education into one day. So we going into multiple houses over the course of that day. So you can start to see, okay, these are the common things that I should look for with electrical and plumbing and what have you. So the education piece there's no shortcut for that education and that experience. No shortcut for that. So yes, it's very important for you to know, for example. So as another example, if somebody's come to do some work at your house, right? How many amps should you have in your home? How many amp service should you have? 60, 100?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
Oh, you really asking me?
I'm not asking. I'm saying that's a
No, I
question.
mean, I know it, but
So that's a question that you would want to know.
Right.
So that as the electrician is coming to the house and trying to explain different things to you using that jargon, you can say, okay, talk to me in layman's terms. I know the house should have A, B, and C. How does that break down for this house? So it's how you ask the questions. Even being an uneducated or not technical person, you can still ask the right questions. Okay. Second part. What was your second question?
the second part is the farce. You know, you doing it yourself saves you money. Yes, it may save you money, but for me, I feel like you lose too much. Because, like, even with the friend, when I added up the amount of money they could have made from renting the top and the bottom, it came up to over $350,000.
It's a lot. So the question is, do you do it yourself? My answer to that is, how technical are you? Here's why. Have you heard the term throwing good money after bad money?
No, that's new to me.
Okay.
That's new to me.
So let's say Pookie and Ray Ray come and run your electrical, or not even the electrical. Let's just say they do the drywall.
Oh, okay,
right?
Okay.
And they don't do it right.
That's horrible.
And then you bring some, and then they painted it and it looks terrible. And you like,
all uneven.
I'm not gonna live in here, or I'm not gonna have my tenants live in this. So then you bring Mr. Jackson from down the street to come look at it, who been doing work at the church for 30 years. And he say, sweetheart, you need to do X, Y, Z, A, B, C, D, and E, and F. So now you didn't pay Pookie and Ray Ray. Now you got to pay Mr. Jackson too. So now you throwing good money after the bad money you done already spent. And so part of that is the relationships, is understanding who you're working with. And the other part of it is trying to find a balance or harmony between, you can't, one thing I will say, you can't get good, fast, and cheap all at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
Got you.
Yeah. Right? So you got to decide what's important to you.
Because I've been seeing, like, we have a friend, he's big on quality. and he don't mind taking a year.
Sure.
On a house because he wants it to be quality.
Sure.
Then I got another one that's like, we're gonna hurry up and get this done. Throw them cords in there and we gonna paint it.
Right,
It's gonna
right.
be okay.
So there's a harmony there, right? What's your end goal? Right? And who is your customer?
That's important.
Right? Because if you're just fixing it up to put lipstick on a pig, as the term goes, and you don't really care what's going to happen once you sell it because you don't know nothing about it, that's one school of thought. The other school of thought is, let me do it right and maybe take a little more time. I would tell you most professional investors are not waiting a year for a rehab. Now, you, for your own property, sure, can take a year because you own it. And there's nothing wrong with that if you choose to go that route. 20 years is too much. What is he doing with the house now?
It's nothing in there.
All right.
Nothing.
We'll talk. We'll make sure we talk before
It's
we leave
empty.
tonight.
It's been
We'll talk
empty.
before we leave tonight.
Okay, we're gonna talk.
Yeah.
Finder's fee.
Listen. She get it.
Yes.
And how did that finder's fee happen? Because of a relationship.
There we go.
Right?
I like
there
it.
you go.
Finder's fee, Drake.
Okay, right. I love it.
Does location really matter when it comes to real estate?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So in Cleveland, as part of what we do as far as on the bus tour, I have 6 or 7 select zip codes that we work in on purpose. And we do that because we can predict the value of the property, what the rents are going to go for in that area, what the repairs are going to look like in most of the homes in those areas. And so we kind of cherry pick those 6 or 7 zip codes on purpose. Now, can you find a deal everywhere? Of course. So I'm going to still consider this south side of Youngstown property until I get some more information, right? And then because there is possibly a deal everywhere. So we don't want to turn it down because of the zip code. We want to investigate it and let's see. Because guess what I know about the south side? Ain't the hospital on the south side?
Used to be.
Okay, it's a hospital somewhere close to the south side. No, I don't know where the pockets. I don't know.
It's like downtown.
But the best place is because the south side is because YNDC is taking up all of it.
Yeah.
All the
So
houses.
I get that. So, where's the university?
Downtown.
Yep.
Okay, so
It's close though.
if
close.
if I can be on the south side, but maybe be 5 to 7 minutes from the university, or 5 to 7 minutes from one of those hospitals, y'all got 3 here, right?
Two.
Yep.
So if I can be 5 to 7 minutes from that hospital, it's a great Airbnb opportunity. Traveling nurses, university
That's big
professors. There's opportunities everywhere. It's all about how you understand the situation versus the locale versus the price cost versus the opportunity cost. How much you're spending versus how much you're getting. And we just talking, but if that opportunity, if I can get that for 15 grand and put 15 into it, maybe it's a great Airbnb. I don't know, right? Maybe I can put some gentlemen re-entry coming out who need a place to stay. Creativity is what makes the name of the game in business and real estate. Creativity.
And you can
How
use
can you
real
be
estate
creative?
with government, private,
You mean as far as funding?
Yeah.
Of course. So I could have a group home, let's say, where it's housing some veterans or housing some folks who have some mental challenges.
Okay.
I could house those folks and set the house up where I have staff that does X, Y, and Z. Or I could do a border home where I have zero oversight and just house brothers by the week or by the month. So the creativity that you have, you're only limited by your creativity, right? So the strategies work everywhere. It's just you got to pick the right strategy for the area.
Got you. Is it smart to go and jump into real estate and buy properties with groups or stay as an individual?
Great question, man.
That's a
Y'all,
good
I
one.
love it. Y'all are bringing the heat
like
tonight. I love it. It depends on the partners, right? The partners have to be equally yoked, right?
Oh,
so
shucks.
if it's 3 partners, all of us got to have 5 grand or whatever that number is.
Yeah.
All of us have to have some type of marginal workable credit. All of us have to be thinking in unison, even if we have different parts. So when you're in a weak position where you don't have a lot of cash, partnership is the way to go, right? Because I would say partnership through the LLC, right?
Yep.
You got 5, I got 5, she got 5, she got 5. Individually, that's a weak position. But together under ABC LLC, we got 20 grand. Now you can go acquire a commercial space or make a larger asset purchase on a residential property because you got 20 grand. So, but it takes the right partners to be in alignment mentally to be able to make that happen. So partnership is possible.
Yeah.
I welcome partnership. Let's just be equal.
Right.
I like it. Quick question for
Yes,
you.
ma'am.
What's your criteria that you would use to decide if a house should be for rent? I know you were saying location, got it. How much you putting into it, yes. But what is really maybe like 1 or 2 determining factors to say,
Great question.
you know, this should be rented, this should be an Airbnb.
So there's a formula that we use. It's called the max allowable offer.
Okay.
So I'm going to consider your cousin or family member situation.
Right.
And I don't know the numbers, right? So I'm going into it with a specific approach. The max allowable offer is the fair market value minus 70%. So if this is 100,000,
Minus 70%.
I'm starting at 70.
Right.
Okay. Minus the repairs,
Okay.
minus my commission. That's the offer. That's it. Everywhere. You can use that everywhere.
Say it one more time. For Say it one more time.
The max allowable offer
Right.
is the fair market value,
Boom. So 100 grand.
100 grand.
Let's do an example.
Yes.
Math class.
100 grand times
Right.
70%.
Times 70%.
Yes. Do you want to know why we use 70%?
Yes, I want to know why.
So when you are, as an investor, when you're looking to get financing, let's say, most banks will not give you more than 70 or 75% loan to value.
Oh.
So every investor is looking at walking into the opportunity with 30% equity, or it's not worth the time.
Okay.
Okay. So 70%,
So we had $70,000.
70,000 minus the repairs. We all know that number can vary,
It could vary.
right? Minus what is it worth for my time?
Okay. So that's where like the 6 months will come into play.
No, hell no.
To be able to
the
fix it?
commission,
Oh,
just for the
yeah.
opportunity to even do the deal.
Okay.
Somebody has to create and curate that opportunity
Okay.
to either buy it myself or sell it to somebody else.
Okay.
So that creates an opportunity where we have to consider the commission. So my typical commission is $5 to $7 grand, $5 to $8 grand on a deal of under 100,000. So if I want to say, okay, if I'm doing your family friend a favor, let's just see if we can get it moved pretty quickly. They can use some cash. Maybe I'll say, okay, I'll do it for $5 grand. So let's consider 100,000 minus 30% minus the repairs. Let's say the repairs are 30,000. So that puts us at what, 40? And if I want to make 5,000, the max we'll offer them is 35. That's if it's worth 100. We know the South Side ain't worth that.
Yeah.
So again, but that strategy or that formula you can use everywhere, all the time.
Got you. I'm gonna start telling people that. Be like, well, how much are your shoes?
Shoes are not an asset.
It's not an well,
No,
it depends.
it's a liability.
I mean, it's a liability.
That's right. And here's the deal: unless you're gonna resell them, or unless you're gonna have somebody else, you're gonna pay you to wear them.
Right.
It's not an asset.
Not an asset. It's a straight liability.
Straight liability. So those Jordans are disposable.
Right.
They look fresh.
But they're a liability.
They're liability.
Right.
Right. So we're teaching our kids to buy liabilities, and that's
instead
okay.
of assets.
Instead of assets, buy the Nike stock instead of the Nikes.
Yeah. Right.
I like it.
You've been quiet, Miss Lady. What's going on over there?
Riding the struggle bus a little bit. We all right.
You had so much fervor when we started. What happened? What happened? Too much information overload?
No, I'm riding the struggle bus. I'm going to just leave it there.
Okay, I got you. I got you. Okay, all right.
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
So, I just started hearing about this new thing. So I want to hear your input on this.
Okay.
Flipping land
Yes.
versus homes.
Yes.
Can you explain the difference in there, benefits of? Because I'm hearing people say that it's better to flip land than it is to flip homes.
It's relative. So the land to have value, true value over and above undeveloped land, it needs to be buildable. Right? So if you have, for example, let's say all these lots around the hood, right? They tore the house down. We know there was a house there at one point, so that's considered buildable.
Right.
Gotcha.
Okay, because it had utility service,
Had gas.
plumbing was tied in, it, all of that. That's buildable. Some of this land, vacant land or farmland, right, that's in Ashtabula or some of these other areas, is undeveloped land. That's not buildable, right? It's not buildable because it hasn't been permitted to be able to be built.
Yeah.
But you got to go through the process. So how much legwork do you want to put in? So A, it has to be a desirable area. B, it has to be buildable or possible to be built. So, for example, if you're going to buy, let's say, 5 acres of farmland, who's clearing it? Are you selling the trees?
I'm about to say each other.
You can sell the trees. You don't just have to clear it and pay to get the trees taken out. Somebody will pay you for those trees.
Yeah.
Right? So, who's clearing it? Once it's cleared, then what? What's the specs? What are you going to do with it? In most cases, the highest and best use for land is residential property because you can get more residences in a space than you can in a commercial building. So residential is usually what they call the highest and best use.
Yeah.
But it's got to be prepped to be there, or unless you're buying. So for I'll give you a hack. If you own property and the land next to you is vacant, call your councilman. You have what's called right of first refusal because you're the neighbor. So if the land is next to you is vacant, if there isn't any back taxes or any kind of liens, you can usually get it for a song and a dance.
Listen to this.
Damn.
So my
we done woke up. Okay.
my head is hurting a little bit.
Okay.
So my
Yes,
grandma.
ma'am. We love grandma.
Oh, that's my baby.
Yes.
So she
Mike, can you
just
check that?
moved. Just moved to her, like she downsized.
Okay.
Owns her house, the land next to it, which 2 houses were. So she owns all of it.
Yep.
So they tell me, you move in it.
Okay. Did you?
Well, no, not yet. She literally just moved last weekend.
Okay.
So, grandma's getting older and all of that. She's like, well, you want my land? Now, used like when I was younger, no, what I'm going to do with it? But now, like that I've gotten older, I don't know what I would do with it.
Okay.
And she also owns land like on another street. It's all on the south side of Youngstown. But she's like, well, you want my land? I'll sign it over to you. You can have my land. You move in the house, all of that. So,
How old are you?
29.
Beautiful. Do you have kids?
No.
Okay. So part of my slogan, besides real lit, the back of the shirt says the power of generational wealth. That's generational wealth.
Yeah.
Okay. The problem with grandma's house, especially in the hood, is we let it go back. Let it go to the bank, let it go to the city for back taxes. That's your generational wealth for your family.
Probate.
Through your family. If grandma's willing to sign or sell that house over to you, even if you don't have a vision for it today, you take that house. If you don't, I'm gonna give you my card and you call me and I'll come take it for you. Right? Now, I'm in all honesty, because these when you talk about gentrification in certain neighborhoods, it starts with opportunities just like that. Grandma's house that has some value, but Pookie and Ray Ray moved in. They didn't handle their business. They ain't paying the taxes. They ain't keeping it up. So, now we getting complaints and the city is, all of that, right? Reverse that trend. Take that house, live in it. Even if you don't want to live in it long term, live in it and fix it up. Rent it out. Traditional, Airbnb, doesn't make a difference. You can find a resource for that asset. We find a whole lot of uses for liabilities.
Yeah.
Find a use for that asset. That's an asset, especially if it's paid off. And give grandma a little couple dollars for it too.
That's my girl.
Show her.
Right. So you talked about the land. We talked about the land.
Sure. And mobile homes is another one too.
I've been hearing about mobile homes.
Yes, mobile homes is dope. Yes,
That's
sir.
a good one.
Tiny homes.
The tiny homes.
All of that. The
mobile
whole.
homes.
I've been looking into the
All of
tiny
that.
homes.
Yes, man.
Can you explain mineral rights?
That's not my area of
Gotcha.
expertise.
What is that?
However, each property, when you buy a property, you own the land, the structure, and the airspace.
Yeah.
Up to a certain level because the government, you can't fly. So, for example, what you see a lot in the rural areas, the farmer who owns a lot of land and there's not a lot of great cell service out there, they'll come rent that space. They'll rent a small space to put up a tower, and they'll just pay him every month, right? Because he owns the space, he owns the land and the air.
Yeah.
So they can erect those cell phone towers. It cost them $250 to put it there. So what? They can now charge all those people for cell phone service and have better service, and they just pay him $100 a month for a little small plot of land that he wasn't gonna do nothing with anyway. So you do own the land
And the air rights.
and the structure. So if whatever minerals are attached to the property, you do own it. The question is, can you cultivate it?
Yeah. See, that's a lady at the church. Man, she's just like old Creole woman, right? And I was selling Cutco knives. And I went to her, I'm like, man, this lady is not about to buy no Cutco knives, right? So I went to her and she bought a whole set. Confused me. I was like, how did she get this money? Come to find out, old lady got land down in Louisiana and they're just taking oil from the land.
That's it.
She a millionaire.
That's it. Oh, wow. That's it.
The whole time.
Have you read the book, The Millionaire Next Door?
I am not.
It's a great book.
Gonna get it
Okay.
now.
The Millionaire Next Door talks about the guy who drives the Toyota, the Honda, that is very unassuming. They dress normal or raggedy. They take their lunch to work. They're eating peanut butter and jelly and bologna sandwiches. That's the guy that's the millionaire right there.
Yep.
He's prioritizing his assets over flashy clothes, jewelry, a fresh car, all of this shit that we think is cool.
We value.
That has no value. Yeah. He's valuing his asset. Absolutely.
How do you switch? Like I said, I'm disciplined when it comes to discipline. Okay. So
we're gonna have to break that down, and that's a whole other conversation. Discipline for discipline. I don't know what that means.
Discipline. Okay. I'm gonna explain it to you after the lights shut off.
There we go.
So someone who has value on a Jordan, value on we don't wear Coochie no more.
I understand that.
Got it.
Value with brands.
Yes. So what are some steps that someone can take in order to, besides just stop doing it? Because stop doing it is something totally different. Sure. We got Afterpay, we got Klarna, we got Shot Pay, we got all these things that are not connected to our credit, and we got great standing with these things. You know what I'm saying? So what do we really?
Somebody is a shopper. Are we talking? Am I sensing a closet shopper?
Listen, let me tell you something. There's a little hurt through that.
Okay,
but
I get it.
The lights
Trauma
go
and the
off.
pain.
Then
I get it.
you.
Okay.
So when the lights go off, how do we switch from that mindset to say, okay, no, yes? What are some steps that you would take?
How old are you? May I ask?
Oh yeah, you can ask. My birthday was recently.
You a Pisces?
No.
Okay.
Aquarius, but 31.
Okay. Do you have children?
Yes.
How old are your children?
He is 8.
Okay. Perfect age.
Yes.
I have a 9-year-old. Okay. At 8 or 9 years old, there are some things they start to recognize and they start to pay attention to. Does he have an Xbox? Okay. Does he have a Switch, Nintendo Switch?
Yeah, he plays it in the summer.
Okay. Right. So mom is strict on how she divvies out the video games.
Mom is very strict on how she divvies that up.
Does he have a tablet?
No.
Okay. Cell phone?
Only when he go to his daddy's house.
We'll leave that for another conversation.
When the lights go off.
So I'm asking these questions for a reason, right? So when it's Christmas time or birthdays, what is he allowed to do with that money or gifts?
I try to teach him how to put 20% away. 10% he gives to God, and then the rest of it I allow him to choose.
Okay,
what he wants to do.
That's fair. That's a great percentage for an adult.
Gotcha.
For a child, I would say it should be 50-50. Just personally, because what really does he have he doesn't pay for his needs, right?
He sure don't.
Right. His mom, you birthed him, right? So you
Right.
got to house him, feed him, right?
Right.
So his needs are really already taken care of. So his wants is really what you allow him to spend that money on. And that's why I said it should be closer to 50-50. Make him save half, and then he can spend the other half. So it starts about that age. And I've got some flashcards that I'll show you that I got from the Black Business School. It's for kids, and it teaches them. So financial literacy is a language. You're teaching. It's the language that you teach them, right? So as an example, you can say, "Hey, you want to be cooler than the rest of your friends? I'm gonna go get you some Nike stock." Because all your friends got Nike. Y'all gonna all keep buying Nikes, Jordans, LeBrons, all that, right? I bet none of your friends don't have this.
Right.
How can you make it cool? Because everything at that age is about being cool, right? So how can you make something cool is how you dress it up. You're the parent, you're the adult, right? So you have to find different ways to give them a value system. If you allow school, social media to direct his values, he'll be in the same situation like everybody else. Turn off the TV.
Oh, for sure.
Turn off the internet. Turn off YouTube.
And when you say turn it off, you mean telling him to turn it off?
Well, it's relative.
Got
It's
it.
relative. The time that he spends doing that could be spent doing something different. That's the opportunity cost.
Right. That's right. I like it.
Just tips and tricks,
Right.
right?
Well, yeah, I'm glad I do. I limit, like right now, he's here. So I have to do something to occupy his time.
Sure.
You know, he read his book today or whatever
Okay,
it is.
good.
But throughout the week, he's not allowed to watch TV.
Okay, fair enough.
And then 8 o'clock is the time
Right.
for bed.
Okay, got you.
Right.
Sure.
So, so that's pretty good. I like
So you
those
have
things.
some structure, right? That's a beautiful thing. All kids need some structure. I think we all would agree with that if we're parents. At the same time, the school is not going to give him financial literacy. No. So it's up to mommy to guide that conversation and find a way to make it cool. Those flashcards will help. I'll show you that.
Last question for me.
Okay.
Cash or debit for my child? Should I teach him how to use cash or give him his own debit card?
It's the same thing.
It is, but sometimes the kids, they don't understand.
Everything is not, the swipe isn't unlimited.
Yes.
Okay. Again, that can be a game. If he has his own custodial bank account, he can keep a ledger of what's in that account, right? So when he goes to the store and he wants some candy that mommy don't feel like buying,
I'm not.
right? Or whatever it is, right? Make him use his own card. And then he has to swipe and keep a track of it, right? So then he can say, because I'm going to tell you what most kids, they want the thing, but they don't want to use their money.
No, they don't.
Right?
Yep.
So make him spend his money, and then they'll start to think twice about it. Do I really want that toy or those shoes? Or because normally they want it because their friends have it, right? So again, you're the parent. Play the game. Great questions. Thank you so much.
Yeah. As we wrap up, I want you to share with everybody again. Where can everybody find you on social media? Tell us again about the Real Lit Bus Tour.
Absolutely.
The author, where we can find a book. Give us some more information. And even if you leave us some tidbits. We always do takeaways as well, right?
Gotcha.
So leave the people with something good.
Man, you put a heavy a little burden on me over here. I think I'm up to it, man. Again, thank you guys so much for the
Absolutely.
platform.
We appreciate you coming.
Y'all came with some dope questions. I think your audience and really anybody in general, I think you guys can take something away from what we shared today. As far as the book you can find on my website. Oh, here it is here. It's the Offensive Playbook, 9 Rules for Guaranteed Real Estate Success. It's got my picture on it, real dressed up for real.
Who house is that behind you?
Huh?
Who house is that behind you?
It's a house I was working on at one point in time.
Oh, okay.
So it's you got a graphic design to that.
All right.
And so the book, I usually sell these at events when I'm doing events. But yeah, so the book is on Amazon. I normally don't direct people to Amazon because they take a cut. So you can come directly to my website at TonyRobinson.com, TONE Robinson.com. You can find the book on the website, $18.95. Okay. As far as the everybody can find me on social media, Tone Robinson Consulting. So it's on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. It's Tone Robinson or Tone Robinson Consulting. As far as the bus tour, that's really what we really are excited about. We've been doing it for a couple years now. This is our 3rd year, going into our 3rd year. We do it twice a year. And so for you guys, I would love to make the option available for you guys to come and join us on the bus. It's April 22nd, which is a Saturday. Okay. It's all day. It's 10 to 6. Of course, we're going to feed you. Right?
I hope so.
We're going to feed you. I can't keep you out that long and not feed you now.
Right.
And I'm a foodie, so we're going to eat.
I love to eat.
We're going to eat. And so so I want to make it available for you guys for essentially the cost of attendance, which is $48. So there's a promo code that I have, which is my birthday just passed. So BDay48 is the code. It's available for about another week. Okay. And so if you guys are interested, I'll make that available for you for $48. The normal tickets are $197.
Nice.
Okay. You can kill that. The normal tickets are $197. And then we offer a VIP as well. And so with the VIP, so obviously that includes the regular bus tour. Okay. In the evening, we have a second bus. A second bus that comes and picks us up for a smaller group, of course. We're going to have dinner and comedy at the Improv. So it's dinner, unlimited drinks, and the comedy show. All
Had your girl at drinks.
And the comedy show that night. And then the following morning, we have a mastermind or a master class as well with brunch. So we're going to be at the Aloft Hotel in Beechwood. Okay. If you're familiar with Cleveland, you know that's a nice area. It's a nice hotel. It's a nice trendy kind of hotel. And so we'll be offering the VIP that as well. So the VIP is $497. Unfortunately, no discounts for that. But it's a 2-day event, so makes it a 2-day event. And so we're doing, and I haven't really talked about this on very many platforms. We're shooting a pilot for our TV show. And so we've got a mini series of 6 to 8 episodes that we're working on.
Oh, dope.
And so it's for streaming TV, right? Apple, Amazon Prime, and all of that. But so I'm working with some folks out of Dallas who are helping me put the TV show together. So all of the content that we produce and put together from the bus tour will be made into a TV show.
That's awesome.
So that's part of the whole bus tour VIP experience. So as you can see, we come with the cameras. They come in. So but it'll be professional videography and all of that. So yeah, man, it's a dope event. We have a good time. And really, people take away a lot from the tour because it's not just conversation, just getting into a room. We're walking in and out of properties. Our contractors are on site, walking you through, hey, this is what we had to consider. This is how much things cost. And then I'm breaking down the mechanics of the deal. How much did it cost to get it? How much were the repairs? How much are we renting it out for? So we go through a whole analysis of the mechanics of a deal. And so we put all that together on the bus to really give people some education and information. And, it's been well received. So if you guys are interested, I would love to host you guys on the bus. I know a lot of brothers from the Men's Summit are going to be there as well. So yeah, man, it's real. Like I said, we're building a bridge from Cleveland to Youngstown to build those relationships. Y'all, we're too close not to do business together.
Right. We all cousins.
Man, we Northeast Ohio distant cousins, but yeah, it's all good. Absolutely. So yeah, just really want to be able to build a bridge from Cleveland to Youngstown and open up some of these relationship avenues. So many of us are doing things on our own where we could be partnering up together.
Absolutely.
And so your platform here was an opportunity, right? Based on our relationship and coming together for us to be able to spread the message, get you guys some content, and hopefully we can do some business together.
Absolutely.
So that's the plan. That's the goal.
That's what's up. Yeah, well, we appreciate you coming on, gracing our platform, and dropping some gems and some knowledge to us and the people.
Absolutely. I appreciate it. So I'm looking forward to seeing how it comes out. When do you guys produce?
We'll be dropping this tomorrow.
Okay, dope.
Drops tomorrow.
You validated. You for real.
What's
Yeah, he the truth.
I approve.
You got his
Okay.
blue check mark?
Yeah, I approve this.
I'm working on my blue check in real life now. I'm working on my blue check.
Go to his website, support people. That's Tone Robinson.
ToneRobinson.com.
$18.99. Get the book. Follow him on all platforms. Bus tour. Hit up the bus tour.
The Real Lit Bus Tour, April
all the
22nd.
information on the website too.
It's
for the
on,
bus tour?
of course. It's all on the website. It's on social media as well. Our sponsored ads will be dropping this week, so you'll see my face, unfortunately, everywhere.
Oh, that's what's up, man.
So enjoy the bus, enjoy the ride.
Hey, well, we appreciate you coming on. Till next time, folks. Play the moments, positive memories, stop the pain, keep the happiness on repeat. Peace.
Bye.
Peace.
Whoa, wait. Before you cut it off, we just want to take the time to thank you for tuning in to another episode of Blended Views Unfiltered. We want to thank all of our faithful listeners and all of you who have not tuned in faithfully, but you're just now tuning in to all of our nonsense. My man Nick got a message for y'all.
Always remember, if you guys ever wanted to write into the podcast to just tell us about your relationship, ask us any questions, get our advice on everything. This is Blended Views, so we could give you a view that you might not see in your day-to-day relationship. Always remember, write us in at info@blendedviewsunfiltered.com. That is info@blendedviewsunfiltered.com. I would spell it, but I don't know how to spell all of those words. So let's just keep it at info@blendedviewsunfiltered.com.
And he's not lying. Y'all know he struggles with that. So after y'all get done with all of that boring stuff and you want to just write in and tell me how delicious I look, make sure that you follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.
And don't forget, we are streaming on all streaming platforms. That's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeart, wherever you listen to your favorite podcast at. Make sure you tune in, subscribe to every single channel as we release content every single week. Until next time, play the moments, positive memories, stop the pain, and keep the happiness on repeat. Peace.
Bye.